Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Giannato Clinic series on metabolic wellness. We're going to continue our discussion of protein. So remember, when we last left off, we were talking about the biologic value of proteins, which is an indication of how well they're absorbed and how good the protein is. And they're on a scale of 0 to 100, 100 being the best, and eggs have the highest biologic value at 100. Whey proteins are close to 100, and just to give you an example, beans have a biologic value of 49. Now, meat, fish, soy, milk, cheese, and eggs contain complete protein. Remember, these are the proteins that have all the essential amino acids in them. Vegetables, grains, seeds, and nuts contain incomplete proteins. So you have to combine certain portions of all of these things in order to get a complete protein. As I say in the last bullet here, combinations of incomplete protein foods or nutritional supplementation can supply all 9 essential amino acids. Now, aging will reduce the ability to digest and absorb protein. And with advancing age, most people consume smaller amounts of protein, and because they're digesting less and they're consuming less, they end up in a negative state of protein balance. Protein foods come from both animals and plants. Protein from vegetable sources such as soy is important. Now, there are various ramifications about soy, which we will get into in later posts, but needless to say, protein from vegetable sources are becoming more and more important for our dietary needs. Now, let's look at this. Optimal sources of animal protein include fish, wild game, and egg whites. Protein powders are acceptable. Organic, free-range, grain-free poultry is acceptable. Grain-free, ladies and gentlemen, that's key. You don't want anything on grain. Organic, open-range, 100% grass-fed beef can be consumed once a week. Excellent alternative to animal and fish protein are plant-based sources. These include soy, as we've mentioned, beans, legumes, nuts, and seeds. All right, so let's look at the various sources of proteins. The ideal sources, which you may consume regularly, include fish, eggs, egg whites, lean organic free-range chicken and turkey, and soy. Okay, simple as that. Fish, organic, free-range, grass-fed chicken and turkey, eggs, egg whites, and soy. Acceptable sources of protein, which you may consume a few times a week, include organic dairy products, wild game, lean cuts of organic open-range grass-fed beef, beans, and legumes. Now, on dairy products, some people go eat the non-fat variety, some people go eat the full-fat variety. I prefer the full-fat variety because some of the fats in the dairy are actually very, very good for you. So keep that in mind when you're buying dairy. Those of you that are lactose intolerant, of course, stay away from dairy. Now, not recommended protein sources. So you want to eat these less than 1 time a month or avoid them completely. Processed meats. You know, go to the grocery store, ladies and gentlemen. Go into the deli department. Ask the delicatessen manager to recommend one of the cold cuts that is sugar-free or has less sodium in it. You know he won't be able to find one. These are inundated with sugar. These are inundated with simple carbohydrates. They're not good for you. The processed meats contain a lot of nitrates and nitrites, which are not good for you. Anything that's grain-fed, non-organically raised beef, pork, or poultry you want to avoid. Avoid, again, bacon, sausage, ham, and smoked meats, and meats cooked at very high temperatures. And the reason I say this is because you start to get advanced glycation end products in these meats, which can be carcinogenic. So, to summarize, protein exerts a greater suppressive effect on appetite than any other macronutrient we'll discuss. Protein digests slowly and has very low caloric density. And protein is a more satiating macronutrient than carbohydrate. Protein is the structure of our cells, is the structure of our body. It's a very, very important macronutrient. So tune in next time when we're going to discuss fat. We'll probably have to break that down into 3 series because this is very complex but very important. And once we finish this, we're going to put together the ideal diet using the ideal ratios of carbohydrates to proteins to fat. Thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying the series. As usual, any questions or comments, email me, drgio, drgio at giannotoclinic.com, or call us at the office, 703-556-4247. Have a great weekend.